In today's video, I am going to discuss about what is sustainable development, learning outcomes of this video. At the end of this video, students will be able to understand about sustainable development, its relevance to different economies, importance in current economic development. Actually, what is sustainable development? Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development means we have to achieve the development that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. What is sustainable economic growth? Environmentally sustainable economic growth refers to economic development that meets the needs of all without leaving future generations with fewer natural resources than those who we enjoy today. That means the present generation, whatever the resources are available, example, if you take water resources, land resources, or any other resources which are available in the country, so the present generation, they should not exhaust those resources. They should leave those resources for future generations also. Then only that development will be called as sustainable development. The Brundtland Report, that is Our Common Future, World Commission on Environment and Development, that was placed in 1987. So it has defined this sustainable development, that is global environmental management was needed, and that without a reduction of poverty ecosystem damage would be difficult to counter. That world conservation strategy, so that was occurred in the year 1987, that principles intended to help move from theory to practice. So whatever is there in the theory, that should be presented in the practice also. That Brundtland report, that is, it has explained that sustainable development should happen in any economy. So, with the step of that conservation of resources, sustainable development encourages us to conserve and enhance our resource base. That means the present generation people, that they should conserve whatever the resources are available, and they should enhance that resource base by gradually changing the ways in which we develop and use technologies. That means we have to change the ways in which we have to develop and use technologies. So countries must be allowed to meet their basic needs of employment, food, energy, water, and sanitation. So these are the basic needs that every generation they will face these needs. So that is employment, food, energy, water, and sanitation. The essence of this form of the development is a stable relationship between human activities and the natural world. That means every person who is living in any country, they should aim this quality of life. That means human activities in the natural world, which does not diminish the prospects for future generations to enjoy a quality of life at least as good as our own. That means whatever the life we are enjoying, that type of life we should pass on to our future generation. That we can say that quality of life. When we are talking about that sustainable development, so there are so many goals, that 17 goals were mentioned. So the first one is no poverty, second one is zero hunger, third one is good health and well-being, fourth one is quality education, fifth one gender equality, sixth one clean water and sanitation, seventh one affordable and clean energy, eighth one decent work and economic growth, ninth one industry, innovation and infrastructure, 10th one reduce inequalities, 11th one sustainable cities and communities, 12th one responsible consumption and production, 13th climate action, 14th life below water, 15th life on land, 16th, peace, justice, and strong institutions. 17th, partnerships for the goals. All these 17 goals, we can consider them as sustainable development goals. When we are talking about the sustainable development goals, so this is the important, that is sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, life below water, partnerships for the goals. Sustainable cities and communities. When we are achieving more development, so what will happen means we will be destroying the forests and we will be building all the cities. So this sustainable cities means how we have to protect our forest and how we have to achieve the development. Second one, responsible consumption and production. So whenever we are using any resources, that is whenever we are consuming the resources and whenever we are producing different kinds of goods and services, then we have to think about this sustainable development. And that life below water. Next one is life below water means, so whenever we are thinking of the development, we should bother about the pollution also, whatever we are spreading all over the country in different manners, that water pollution or land pollution or air pollution. So here we are considering about life below water, then only that marine resources also we are bothering about. So this is also very important. And partnership for the goals, so whatever the goals we are having, that is main goal is that sustainable development. So with whom we have to make the partnership, that is very very important. This is the human sustainability index. So wherever we are seeing that green areas in this world map, so there we can see that human sustainability is still there. And whenever we are seeing that yellow, that is slowly changing, and this red is the danger condition. And this is the future aims: organic, natural, green, friendly, save, eco, and eco means whatever the situation is existing in the country or in any economy. That H2O means water we have to save, power we have to save, and recycle the paper or whatever the wastage is there, that we have to reuse that wastage. And this wind power, and then we have to reduce that pollution also. All these are the future aims. Environmental awareness. So whenever we are talking about the sustainable development, we should be very particular about that environmental awareness. So the each and every person in this generation, they should make aware of this environment, in which scenario we are living and what are the different things that we are observing in today's life when we are leading a peaceful life. All these things we have to make aware for to the today's generation. Then only they will bring awareness among others also. That environmental awareness is very very important in the present generation. The aim of sustainable development is to balance our economic, environmental, and social needs. So that means we have to balance our economic, environmental, and social needs, allowing prosperity for now and future generation. Sustainable development consists of a long term, it is not a short term, it is a long term integrated approach to developing and achieving a healthy community by jointly addressing economic, environmental, and social issues. That means whatever the health community, that means we have to address so many issues, that economic issues, environmental issues, and the social issues, whilst avoiding the overconsumption of key natural resources. That we should bring this awareness among the future generations also. Whatever the resources are available, that we should not overexhaust those resources. So we should pass on to the next generations also that resources which are available in any economy. That means we have to balance the economic, environmental, and social issues, avoiding the overconsumption of key natural resources. Nested sustainability. So whenever we are thinking of the environment, so we should bother about the society. So environment is a bigger concept, and we have to think about the society, and within the society this economy is there. So all this is the nested sustainable means when we want to save that environment, we have to think about the society. When we are think about the society, we have to think about the economy. So in the resources which are available, we have to use them economically so that we can pass it on to the next generation. That we can call it as nested sustainability. And when we are talking about the sustainability, so many are there. Priority model, that priority model of sustainability, and then global goals means sustainable development goals. Local to global means when we are thinking about our local needs, then we have to think about the global needs also. Differentiation of the global, national, regional, and local level. And then intergenerational means, so we have to think about the other generations, that is future generations also. Multi-layer approach means action on the individual, societal, and political level. All these are the aspects where we have to maintain this sustainability. One is priority, and the second one is global goals. Third one is local to global. Next, intergenerational, then multi-layer approach. So these are the five big questions. How much can you save? How much risk? How much will you need? When will you need it? And what do you want to leave? So when we are thinking about the present generation and the future generation, every person should question themselves about this. That is, how much can you save for the next generation? How much risk? So when we are using these resources, so what is happening to the environment? What is the risk? How much will you need? So when we are thinking of using these resources, how much will you need? Then only according to the need only you have to use the resources. So then only we can leave the resources for the next generations or for future generations also. When will you need it? So whether we have to need them in the present situation or we have to need them for the future use, we have to decide that. What do you want to leave? So that means we have to leave the resources for the future generations also. These five big questions every person should question themselves. So how much can you save? How much risk? How much will you need? When will you need it? What do you want to live? So these five big questions, if any person is raising among themselves, then we can achieve sustainable development. That means we are not using all the resources for our own consumption. So we have to protect the resources, or we have to leave the resources to the future generations also. What is economic prosperity? Everybody has the right to a good standard of living with better job opportunities. This is the economic prosperity. Economic prosperity means every person is having equal right to lead a good standard of living with better job opportunities. Economic prosperity is required if our country is to prosper, and our businesses must therefore offer a high standard of products that consumers throughout the world want at the prices they are prepared to pay. That means economic prosperity means every country has to provide different standard of productions, and then consumers, it will attract throughout the world the consumers, then and it will afford at the prices where they want to purchase. All these three conditions, if they are going to fulfill, then we can attain the situation that is called economic prosperity. Thank you.